YouTube. Welcome to today's video. Today is just running through essentially like a biceps workout or something that you can do at the end of your pull session, whenever you fancy it. So it's kind of like my favorite movements at the moment, because it's always going to change, right? But the ones in which I've been vibing with at the moment, we'll go through them and we'll dive straight in as well. So from a rep range point of view, of course, go with what feels best. I'd say generally for arms, general consensus is like slightly higher reps. So let's say just nice and easy, 3 times 10 to 15, perfect. So we're gonna go with single arm dumbbell curl, and we're gonna use the bench to support us. So the reason being, when we look at bicep training, one of the things that lets us down if we're here is our ability to line things up. So if you're finding that with your bicep curls or even your tricep training, you always end up getting like a niggle in the elbow, a niggle in the shoulder, or like you find like round the back hurts, change to a single arm. So the reason why we're gonna use a bench is what that's gonna enable us to do is now we're gonna be able to use this to support us to lean over. And now if we take a look at this angle here, it's a nice straight line. Whereas if I haven't got this to hold me, I'm in this position, we end up kind of coming over here somewhere, it all gets a bit messy. So grab the bench, stand on the opposite side. Now we can lean over and we can stretch the bicep fully in a nice safe position, because you can adjust how much you lean based on your mobility. So if you're struggling mobility wise, you can lean over nicely. Now the arms hanging, got the load here. Main consideration for this movement is the elbow position from the side shot. So when we're in this position here, we want to isolate the biceps, do the curl. So we want to try and keep the elbow nice and fixed. What we don't want to do is unintentionally do a little bit of one hand. The old, it's just going to be a delt movement then, isn't it? Because we're going to be raising. So we ping ourselves back. When we're stretching the bicep as well, try and really let that bicep hang. Try and almost imagine the elbow straight and the bicep and arm is almost stretching backwards. And from there, nice and easy, nice and controlled. Up as high as we can, squeeze. Yeah. As easy as that. Bicep curl training is not the most inspiring, but just those little tweaks in alignment, hopefully you'll find even with that movement, the bicep should be fired up straight away. So just that difference in me being able just to lean here and angle and squeeze as opposed to trying to come across, or a 2-arm movement can make all the difference. So it'd be 3 sets on each arm, 12 to 15. And that tempo is essentially the working set as well, but just making sure obviously you're working to failure. It's no good doing picture perfect if it isn't hard work as well, of course. So movement 1 in the books. Time for movement 2. Boom, right, here we go. So movement number 2. So we've just done single arm into a cable curl. You're gonna lean back a little bit as well. And I'm using the gym pin bar. You can use just like an easy bar. Remember, the important thing is what we're trying to do is be in your natural position here. So if you're holding like a bar or whatever it may be, you don't want to find it being forced into like this position. You want to try and find a piece of apparatus which allows you to be in your natural position. So for me, that's here, right? So I set myself up so I can bring my elbows back. Now, like I said, I'm leaning back a little bit on purpose here. And the cool thing about the D handles is it's just going to allow for that free movement, so you can go where you want to go with this. So with 2-handed movement, let the hands come. So for me, my hands are facing each other, elbows are pinned back. As I initiate the curl, twist up, squeeze, come down. When I start to feel a bit of discomfort in the elbow, which means back here, and then stretch by just letting the hands come in a little bit. So the key thing with this, I'd say with bicep training as well, is whether it's these movements, whether you try different variations, it's really about being patient with your arm training as well, and being like pretty relentless with the logbook as well. Like, I can only speak from personal experience. Although my arms are still a work in progress, they have made good progress. And my sort of tendency in the past of my arm training was all about like, end of the workout, I'd be meticulous as hell through my workout, I'd be logbooking. I get to the end and I should be doing like a little bit of this at the end for the biceps, get a little bit of a pump on. And if we use that analogy of like any other body part, we only just get a little bit of a pump on and expect to grow from it. So having that mindset with your logbook, your tempo, your execution, I think are by far the most important thing to take home from like a bicep workout video. Is yes, the movements, and we can understand nicely, okay, we need to try and keep things in a nice straight line, but that tempo, squeeze, logbook, beat it by 1 rep, beat it by 1 rep. If you guys have watched the previous videos, we've discussed how to go through the logbook a little bit more in detail. If you're not familiar with that, head to the tricep video, and we go through sort of how should you actually sort of go about your logbook as well. So movement 2, we're leaning back a little bit on purpose, elbows to the side, curling up, allowing the wrists to go where they want to naturally. So it's not to say that you can't just use a straight bar, but if I was to use a straight bar, because of my inability to rotate, if I'm to have a bar here, I've now forced this position with the fixed bar. What's gonna happen then? I get elbow pain right away. So if you're doing a two-handed movement and you're using a fixed bar and you get elbow pain, grab those fancy optimal D handles. Your elbows will thank you. Or just go, if you can, cable, just do a single arm instead. If you can't bring yourself to wrap a D handle around a bar. So we're on to the final movement for biceps. Let's go. So the final movement for this video, again, just to confirm, 3 sets each arm on the dumbbells, 3 sets on the bar, and then 3 sets of these would be the full session. Wanted to save you guys time, so I'm not gonna do them all myself, not in today's video. So this one, this could be either with a dumbbell, incline bench, or if you've got the cables like this, into this position here, really challenging the stretch. So keeping the elbows behind the ribs is the important part here. So we're in the stretch position here. Really big stretch in the biceps is here. Your biceps in this position should be screaming. From there, we then curl, aiming to keep the elbows back. So we can lean forward a bit. Let those biceps stretch. Here, real big stretch. Curl. So the main bit this is working is this bit here. So really load up on the weight as well. Curl up, it gets easier. Straight back into that stretch. See if your balance is gone, like mine a little bit there, just go into a split stance. You feel a lot more balanced. Elbows stay back as much as we can. And then if you wanted to get a bit of forearm stimulus, just go into a hammer grip with your handles into here. Or you could grab 2 ropes and then you'll get a bit more forearm. So then if you're doing it on a bench, same thing, you're in this position, keep the elbows back, curl up from there, all right? So that is how the biceps movements I have in play at the end of back at the moment. 3 sets of each. I want to keep these little videos I've done for lats, for chest, if you haven't seen them yet. They're just more the crux of the movements, save you guys time so you can just take the notes, pop them into your sessions. If you add any of them in, or the whole thing in, let me know if it's helped your bicep training, if it's helped keep the niggles at bay, or if you thought it was a load of crap. Give me the hate, give me the smoke. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.